Hi, welcome back. My name is Dr. Tara Egan, and I am here today to talk about that guilt you feel over getting divorced and feeling like you might be tempted to give into something that your kid wants because you just feel terrible that their parents are divorced. Maybe you and your ex have a high stress relationship. Maybe your kids are voicing that there's aspects of your divorce or divorce life that is really difficult. And we can really get into a space where we're tempted to be more permissive with our kids, have less limits for them because we're trying to sort of make up for the fact that they have this stressful part of their life. So once again, I'm Tara Egan. I am a therapist who specializes in working with parents who are going through separation or divorce. And I like to do these little videos to give you guys some tips on how to manage it. I've been through my own divorce. It's pretty high conflict. I'm about 10, 11 years out right now. And still day to day, as a parent, I have to think about how I'm going to respond to my kids because my divorce from their dad certainly still impacts them today. And it can influence how I parent them. So I remember my daughter when she was in third grade, laying on the living room floor. And I was prompting her to do her spelling homework. And she said, I can't do it. It's so hard. And I said, why is it so hard? And she goes, because my parents are getting divorced or something of those words. And I was like, you have that flutter of, oh my gosh, is this impacting her ability to concentrate on her work? Is she feeling, this stress in her environment and it's making her feel less capable? But I also know that sometimes kids, like she was that day, were having a little bit of a dramatic moment. And it was up to me to set the tone and be able to say, you know what? I get it. Divorce is tough. There's aspects of your life that are pretty hard right now, but I know you can get your spelling homework done. So let's go ahead and get to it. And so she did try that excuse a few times with me over the years. And most of the time, I was able to kind of stamp down those flutters of guilt and refrain from immediately going into protection, reassurance mode that could lead them to get into a pattern of either being emotionally manipulative or staying really focused on the negative aspects of their life instead of just getting into a place of productivity and confidence. So some things I want you to think about. A lot of times guilt can stem from the amount of time we spend with our kids. And if we are co-parenting with an ex and they have our children for part of the time or a significant amount of the time, depending on your custody schedule, it can be really tempting to make the time you have with your kid primarily consist of fun activities. In reality, though, a really great, kind of balanced parent-child relationship consists of having the routine, I don't want to say boring, but just run-of-the-mill moments, making dinner, taking that shower, helping with homework, cleaning up the toys, whatever it is, tucking them into bed, clipping their fingernails, whatever it is, having those run-of-the-mill moments with your kid. And then also balancing it with opportunities that are more fun, more connected, where you're really creating some positive memories. So if you're sort of in a parenting role where you're doing all of one and none of the other, and it goes both ways. If you're a Disney parent who's kind of only doing the fun stuff and never doing the routine tasks, or you're the parent who's doing all of those tasks and kind of the drudgery and doing the prompting, and you're not having the space in your schedule to just go get an ice cream cone together or go for a walk or plan a vacation or whatever it is, that's out of balance. And that can really contribute to a lot of guilt feelings, either because you are getting into a space where you're too task-oriented and nagging and prompting, or because you're missing some of the routine tasks and your child doesn't have a rhythm with you and doesn't come to you for comfort in some of the routine things, like if they're having a problem with the teacher or if they're stuck on a homework assignment. So you do want to try to maintain that balance, even if you don't have your kid 50% of the time. So that's something to think about. Another thing that I want you to be really careful of and mindful of is making sure that you're doing your best to foster empathy in your kid. So this means making sure that you are role modeling, asking your kid how they're doing, being reflective of their emotions, validating your emotions, making sure that you're sharing parts of yourself so that they are invested in your day and your emotions and your feedback. So there are times when we go through divorce when we feel guilty about it, and we end up sort of catering to our kids, really avoiding them experiencing disappointment, not sharing with them just information about ourselves, nothing that's adult focused, right? You always want to keep the content with your kids age appropriate. So you don't want to tell them about your financial problems or how you started dating again and the guy's a jerk or whatever. But if you tell them, oh, I had a tough day at work, we had a new employee who came into our office today and he was rude and it hurt my feelings. Like, that's something your kids can hear, and then hear how you solved it or how you dealt with it. So include them enough in your life so that you really have a connected relationship and they have the opportunity to be sort of in a give and take relationship with you, because that means that you know each other, you're responsive to each other, and that really fosters communication and connectedness as your kid grows. So those are some tips. There's other ones that, stay tuned for, that we're going to talk about in the future. But for right now, I just wanted you to think about some reasons why you want to tamp down that inclination to give in to those feelings of guilt or do a lot of accommodations, and talk about ways to do it, as far as setting up a routine, making sure you have balance, making sure you're fostering empathy. Those are all great tools to consider. So I thank you so much for listening today. Once again, my name is Dr. Terry Egan, and you can visit my website at www.drterryegan.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And when you go and visit my website, check out a free downloadable resource called So Your Ex is a Jerk, and learn about 3 ways to communicate more effectively when you have a high stress relationship with your ex. So thanks so much. Tune in again.